Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Today in L.A., brought to you by Max Federal Credit Bureau on the bypass here in Troy. Bill Rice, the handsome one, sitting to my left. And good morning, young man.
Good morning, Mike.
You look like, what's his name? With Andy Griffin?
I look like Opie or Richie Cunningham back when he had hair.
Oh, yeah. But I tell you, this is a premium young man, audience out there. If you knew him like I did him, you would say the same.
Oh, thank you.
Of course, he's got his own ideas about things, and hey, that's what life's about. If we didn't have things that we believed in, where would we be?
If you only knew all the things I just don't say that I really think, I hold off.
Well,
I'll leave them for my book.
Let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, if he gets to be too liberal, he's out of here.
Ooh, I'm not liberal.
No, he's not. He believes in the USA. That's what. And that's
I believe in liberty and freedom, which is what we were founded on, right? Promote liberty and freedom.
Exactly right.
That's what the founders
Boy, I love this time of year. Gosh, I love this time of year. The beautiful leaves dropping, falling everywhere. Somebody asked me the other day what did I like to. One of the things I like to do when I go up in the mountains or go anywhere where I'm outdoors, and I'm outdoors a lot this time of year, kicking leaves.
You're kicking.
Go where there's a lot of leaves, and I can kick leaves like I did when I was a kid.
Well, I've heard you say on the show before that you remember all your happy childhood memories. And one of them was the smell of burning leaves.
I was going to mention that the next thing. You're right, the smell of burning leaves.
So when did
Joe Falk? Joe Falk and I was talking about it the other day. Raymond. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with Raymond, the guy that's going to cut my hair right here on this show.
No money down. No down payment. No payments till February 2022. No interest. That's right. It's November at Premier. Shop PremierTroy.com. And the most important nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody. Run it.
Welcome to ESPN College Football. This is going to be wild.
Run it.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
What is he going to do? I want to know it.
We're back on Today in L.A., and we're joined by a man who needs no introduction, Raymond Ledford, but we call him Raymond.
Raymond. Bum, 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 bum.
And you have your own song.
That's right. I wish the sound of the South was here this morning. We'd play that song.
The Raymond theme song.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're under the beautiful lights of Troy Cable Vision, located on South Brunny Street, and we bring in one of my best buddies, Raymond Ledford, to chat with us for a while.
Glad to be here.
You're liable to hear most anything, but one thing about it, most anything you'll hear from him is American. You are, when you say that you are an American.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Have you ever been out of the country, Raymond? Traveled?
I have. I went to Monaco one time and went to Grand Cayman Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Sherry won a trip with the Pinkerdates. She got a trip with the Pinkerdates both times.
Yeah. Good trip? Fun?
It was.
Yeah, this morning, ladies and gentlemen, we got Raymond on this show, and get your pen and pencil handy because we're going to probably give you the recipes of good old coon stew or
that was Pale's. Now you right, Pale now.
a squirrel. If you're gonna want to eat some squirrel today.
What was Pale's last name? I just
Smith.
He's somebody asked me, says, what's his last name? And then I said, well, Pale, alias, he's Robert Earl Smith, alias Paleface.
That's
he
right.
got the name Paleface, I reckon, when Franklin Arendt gave him the name Paleface.
I've been calling him
So
Pale.
Pale is a nickname.
Yeah, Pale's nickname. Everybody called him Pale.
Well, that's one of the many people from Pike County that you wouldn't know him if somebody called him his real name at all. I mean, there's
Bill, I don't know about
scores
you. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't know about you, but the son of Paleface, Bob
That's
Hope,
right.
and Jane Russell. They was on at the Pike Theater, and we saw it, of course, and Pale called Franklin Arendt Hoppy. He had polio, and he kind of, one leg was smaller than the other, so Pale called him Hopper on the test. And he called Pale. Pale got his name Paleface when they watched that movie.
So it
Son of
Paleface was just cut down to Pale.
And he cut a many a hair.
And it's P-A-L-E. I always thought it was P-E-L-L.
P-A-L-E, Pale.
Well, I learned. See, we learned something. We're 7 minutes into the show, and we've already learned something.
And of course, let me tell you something. He was a legend at the barbershop, but also a legend at the Baptist Children's Home growing up, and a legend out at Skin Oak cooking food.
Yeah.
What would y'all do without Pale? I think most of y'all go to eat instead of hunt. I know you do.
Pale called it the country club. We started cooking breakfast. He'd make the homemade biscuits. He'd make a good of biscuits you want to eat.
Yeah. And he'd have them ready for Hank too, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, Hank hunted with
Hank Williams been out there many times.
Yeah,
I said, who's that guy over in that corner over there? And Opel would say, hey, don't you recognize him? It's Hank Williams.
Yeah.
And he had a good time, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he hunted with us one season.
You know one thing about him that really impressed me. He understood the people.
Oh yeah.
Hey, he was not a stranger at all. I mean, he spoke the language.
Yes.
And he walked the walk.
Oh yeah.
Really did. And
Still does.
And the thing about it, nobody messed with him. They
Oh,
thought
no.
he'd come over and get a cup of coffee, and I've sat there and watched him. And if you wanted to talk, hey, he'd talk.
Oh yeah.
But most people sort of left him alone.
Well, he was just like anybody else to us. We liked him.
Yeah.
We thought the world of him.
Now they got Kid Rock who hunts over in that part of the country. Tell us about that part of the country and what good game there is. I know Denny Sanford has got a beautiful piece of property over there.
Yeah. Jeff Rell.
No, excuse me, Alan Jones.
Alan Jones.
Denny's got a good land, but it's on the other side of the county.
They stocked a deer and turkey in Pike County in 1958, and we started hunting them in 66. That was our first year to deer hunt.
I've heard that the thrills had something to do with stocking.
Oh yeah, he stocked.
He had a famous guy that your parents knew very well because he lived around the corner from him, Sorry James.
Yeah.
Was his own personal game.
That's another nickname, that Sorry James.
Sorry.
We don't know
what Sorry's real name is, but it doesn't matter. Boy Moats.
Marshall Boy Moats, man.
Okay,
a great one. And we could talk about all these folks, which we were going to do. When we bring Raymond on, ladies and gentlemen, just sit back and you're going to hear a name right out of the blue about somebody.
I'll tell you another one that we all know, Tip Collie. But his nickname was, like a lot of nicknames, it was shortened. It was originally Tip Top Collie because my grandfather, Hickey Chapman, gave him that nickname, but they dropped the Tip Top and it just became Tip Collie.
Did you
like Paleface?
Did you cut
Pale.
Tip's hair?
We did.
Was that nice? Was he was so loud though?
Oh yeah.
Did he come in there early in the morning or in the afternoon?
Just different times. He just came We were right up the street from him, you know, at Berry.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We wasn't a half a block from him,
And he'd come out there, man. He was just like at the hospital. The boy, he'd say, "All right, let's get everything ready."
Yeah, he's on the square uptown up there, and you could hear him. You could hear him at the barber shop, and he'd be over by First Farmers and Merchants.
You could really
his voice
be over
was
there,
commanding.
Yeah.
We could hear him at the barber shop.
You know, Raymond, and we're going to talk about different people this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I get carried away when I get my good friend on my show, and we're going to talk about hunting and fishing. We're going to talk about people, and it's going to be a lot of fun today on our show. And of course, you know, we're talking about the great Tip Colley, James O. Tip Colley, the great doctor who set an example for so many people. And, you know, he was a legend, but gosh, there were a lot of legends.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Russell Gibson, did you ever cut his hair?
Oh, yeah, Mr. Russell, he's one of our main customers.
Good morning. Guten Morgen.
You're on our German broadcast, and now you're on our American broadcast, Mike.
We got Raymond as our guest today.
Raymond. And let me tell you something now. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, Raymond didn't cut everybody's hair. And what I'm saying, he didn't cut my son's hair. His blood brother, Paleface, cut your hair, didn't he, Mike?
Who would cut more hair in the day, Pale or you, or would y'all tie?
Yeah. No, I'd cut Mike's when Pale wasn't there. If he wasn't there, I'd cut it.
Yeah, that's right.
I couldn't get to Raymond most of the time. He had a long line for Raymond. Pale, I could usually go and just get right in the chair.
Dad, Pale cut Dad's hair.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you why he cut their hair. He got there at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's right.
that made a lot of difference.
I got there about 10 after 7.
He had a 2-hour head start on you.
Yeah.
But
y'all might as well have been partners.
Yeah.
I mean, you're like Coach Maestri and Coach Felix. Y'all go together.
I tell you what, old Pale had that same chair for a long time until what?
Oh, he retired. He went home when he was 70.
Well, he went on when he was 70, but hey, a car came right through there. Was that you or him at the front?
No, he wasn't at the front. Pale wasn't there. He was walking.
Okay.
And Raymond Beasley came by and he said, Pale's not here at 5:30. I'll just go get 5 o'clock. Said, I'll go get me a cup of coffee. So he went and got him a cup of hot coffee. Came back. Pale's still not here. I'll go get me a cup and him a cup. So he came back. Well, that time when he made the turn, he made a turn through the barbershop front yard, and his right corner of his bumper hit the brick there.
Yeah.
Wasn't nobody there, but he knocked all that glass out.
Boy, you would have been probably in the promised land if you.
No, I told him if I had a customer out here, I was going. If I saw somebody coming out the corner, I was going to grab him and run with him.
But you know, a lot of times, I honk at you a lot of mornings when I drive by there, and they're right on top of everything. But of course, right now it's hunting season, and we were talking briefly about Sorry James and all that. Tell us about that part of the country as far as hunting goes.
Oh, Jeff Rell, he owned about everything up there.
And we're talking about 40, 50, maybe 60,000 acres of land.
At least. If he didn't own it, he rented it.
Yeah.
And but he was a fine fellow. He let us hunt. Grady Jackson, the game warden, he was our buddy, and he got us about 1,000 acres of Jeff's to hunt, and we didn't have to pay him anything. Skin Oak had about 10,000 acres, and we hunted about 2,000 or 3,000 free.
Skin Oak is what hunting used to be. There was a dog. You'd have dogs, and you put the dogs out. And then the guys with the dogs, they'd go back to the front of the hunt. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the other guys, they'd go and put them out.
Well, they put
several
them on
miles away sometimes. Is that right?
2 or 3 miles away, 4 or 5, whatever.
And they would put, every every quarter mile.
Well, you'd put him on one side of the road, 100 yards. You put him on the other side.
Yeah.
So you'd be shooting on this side of the road. But we were safe. We gave a safety speech just about every time. When we got big, sometimes we'd have 80 folks out to hunt.
Oh, that was
We hunted the
fun.
school hunts up at Pike Glive school hunts up at
Made them some money, didn't
Seiko,
you?
yeah. But
This is bird hunting, right?
No, this
This
is
is deer hunting?
Deer
Deer
hunting.
hunting.
Yeah, this is stalk deer hunting. They call
Well,
it not
dog
stalk, not stalk,
No, we
but,
didn't
but
stalk.
dog.
Can you even
hunting.
still do that now?
you can. It's legal. Got a couple of clubs down in Coffee County, and
What do they call it? Walking head?
Yeah.
no, we don't walk. Well, I went with my dogs, but we turned the hounds loose and they got it.
You know, Jerry Renfro, my first cousin, Mike, you know so well. Jerry had his own dogs, and he always put them up front. What you call up front?
Oh yeah, dog. You turn your dogs loose.
And then
A lot of people had dogs just for that purpose, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
ran dogs. But we had 80 folks there, and we could cover it. We
Oh.
hunted the Jack Dunn, his family, all of his folks. We hunted their land.
was the late Margie White. You.
Oh yeah, we
hunted her
hunted
land.
Miss Margie. We hunted all that country.
You know, I
Just
just finished binge watching Downton Abbey, which is a period piece from the World War I through the 20s.
Yeah.
About British aristocrats, and what did they used to do? They'd have big hunts,
They
fox
fox
hunt,
hunted.
and
Yeah,
they not only had dogs, they had hundreds of dogs.
They rode
And-
horses.
Now I tell you right.
And I wondered, I said, whose job was it to care for all these dogs? That must have been
Yeah.
4 people right there.
Yeah, they
That's
had.
right. But you know, to reiterate on the dog hunts, you know, there's some guys in your club, and y'all had a wonderful club, and of course you ate good and had good breakfast before you went out and all that, and it was just a lot of fun. But they go out. Some of the guys had better. How did you determine where your spot would be?
Oh, I'd just tell them, say, I'm going to turn her loose. We had one stand we called a truck body. They was old Dodge pickup truck.
Yeah.
The body of it was down there in the woods.
Yeah.
We turned the truck. We had on the Skin Oak, we had a dead mule stand. They was old. Skin Oak got his name way back. I don't know exactly when, but a team of mules ran away with the wagon, and I reckon wrecked the wagon upside an oak tree and skinned that oak tree. So they called it the Skin Oak Road. And the dead mule standing, we had the big oak. We had in the bottom over there on Mr.
So
Dewey
everybody
Dunn.
knew where they were. And was it a first come, first serve, or what? You know.
Oh, you just
It seemed like my buddy Terry Jenright. It seemed like he always had a good stand.
Terry would get a good stand, but Terry and
they knew the
Ross
property,
and
didn't
Russ, they knew the property.
Yeah.
They were good hunters. Now,
Real
me and Pell had missed, but Terry and Ross and Russ, they did.
Let me tell you this: Ross and Russ might have probably, and they're young men now, but they probably killed more deer than anybody we
Just
know.
about
I
it.
mean, they really. And,
Good.
But the fun part was this: is to be in your stand and start to hear those dogs way off in the distance, and then they got closer, and then they got closer. Then you would hear something running in the woods, and they was running in the woods everywhere. They might be over here, and there's where the know-how comes in. Tell them what happened once those deer got to the hunters.
Well, you saw, you standing there quiet when the buck came out, you shot him.
But it was a fun feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Though. I mean, you hear him coming, but you didn't know if he was going to come to you or come to the guy over there for a long time.
You know, the old buck will smell you, but
he was
turn,
confused though when he was
Oh,
going
yeah.
into all those hunters. Is that right?
yeah.
How did you
Well,
know?
he didn't. He'd just slip around. You know, that buck get in there, and
Try to walk his way through.
yeah, he'd slip around.
Well, how did
try
they
to-
gather up the dogs after the hunt? They just knew
That
Well,
is
they
a
were-
secret. That's a secret to that.
They'd have to pick him up. Pale turned his dog loose, and you got him up there on 82.
Yeah, and that's another highway. And then a lot of those folks went into the wee hours of the night looking for
Yeah,
their
they-
dogs. You know, like you know, they have dogs. The dogs just kept running those deer. They didn't
They didn't
stop,
know that
did
the
they?
hunt was over.
I had 4 black and tans, and I could turn them loose 5 times a day. And them boys said, all you got to do is drop that tailgate, and when they hear it rattle, they jump in your box.
But
I carried mine home just about every night.
But it was a very unique way to hunt, and of course, like you said, it was like a little battlefield across.
Well, I
you
want
hear,
to say
you'd hear the shots up here, and then you'd hear them down here.
I'm going to make an observation. It's just like the fox hunts. It was a big social event.
Yeah.
People look forward to it, and you know, they fed you, and it was a big deal.
Then at the end of the hunt was another fun party. They started hanging those deer. Tell us about that.
They'd hang the deer.
Everybody got food. If you were in the hunt, you were given food.
Later on, we'd kill 4, 5, or 6 a day. We hunted up there on the school hunt one time, and the first drive we killed 20 deer, but we probably had 100 folks up there.
And there were kids that killed deer, or people that killed deer that had never killed deer before.
No, I carried a little Bill Chapman the first time.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Trooper Larry Hagan, different folks, you know. I carried them on their first hunt. And my brother-in-law, he went with me, Wyatt Austin. He says, "Where'd I get off?" I said, "Get off anywhere."
You didn't put one guy on top of another guy.
Oh, no,
there's always
you don't
plenty
do
of
that.
distance
No,
to be
you
safe,
got
you know.
You got your distance every time. The man putting the hunters out, he wasn't going to stand you too close. You didn't. And we told him, if you leave your stand, you'll be at the house.
That's right,
Next week
because
you
then
won't
it
go.
could be dangerous.
We
You
don't
know, the line probably went over a mile, didn't it? Probably with
we'd go.
How far would it go?
Oh, you'd cover 1,400 acres with your stand.
And of course, then the hunters knew when to get to put
you
the
stay on your stand.
And if you got a big one, what did you do? Just hollered?
We had our CBs. We call them, tell them we killed them.
And we need somebody to help drag a deer out of the woods or something like that. And up in Skin Oak, there'd be some 200-pound buck, wasn't they?
Oh, Pale killed one that was 260 pounds.
Oh, that was a huge
10 point. Grady Reeves.
Now, he got that one down. Did he have it mounted?
Jack Dunn up there, he had every one of his children, he gave him at least 700 acres of land. He had a bunch of them.
Yeah.
And but Grady hunted with us, and we had a time. But we'd hunt their land, and we started off, we was paying about 25 cents an acre, and when we quit, we was paying $15 an acre.
Yeah, boy, that's something. Now,
for some of it.
We at the end of the hunt, and then there was no one that went home without some meat.
If they wanted any deer, they could get it.
They always cut it for them, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Of course, the guy that killed it got the hind quarter now, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
Why is the hind quarter so good on a deer?
It's a lot of. We cut it up in deer steak. Most folks want the back straps, the ribeye.
Oh yeah. What's that loin? That loin, yeah.
But you'd have folks.
Usually the guy that killed the deer would get his portion. He'd get the best portion.
But before we got through hunting, years later, that we killed so many deer that they'd just give you a whole deer.
Yeah, Michael, are you online, man?
Yeah, I'm on.
You're awfully quiet. What's Millie doing this morning?
She's watching cartoons.
My little granddaughter is waiting to go to
sleep. I was looking at the bowl possibilities for Troy, and if Troy played in the Camellia Bowl, Johnny Williams bowl game in Montgomery, it'd be on Christmas Day. I don't know if we'd have much of a crowd for a Christmas Day bowl game.
I don't know. Usually you have an early Christmas opening presents and all that, and you just leave early, or are you opening when you get back?
Of course, Troy's got to get the 6 wins, but
and that's going to be hard.
It would be at 2:30 on Christmas Day at the Camellia Bowl. So
2:30.
All the bowl tie-ins with the Sun Belt Conference are before Christmas, so all the games would be before. That would be actually the last bowl game Troy could possibly play in, as far as date-wise.
Well, I tell you, that's going to be a lot of fun if we can make it. But
a lot of bowls on the 17th and the 18th of December.
Yeah. And of course, if Troy makes it, and they would have definitely earned it by beating one of the next 3 teams, and hopefully we can do it. We're talking about hunting and fishing right here, right now, Mike. You, of course, have got some rundowns on a few items before we.
People don't hunt like that anymore, though. You don't have big deer hunts like that anymore. Our dove shoots, it's changed.
How many deer hunters would you have for your what would they call it? What was the name of your pike liberal arts? The pike liberal arts.
Oh, we'd have close to 100.
And they raised several $1,000s, wasn't it?
They raised a lot.
They'd have a barbecue and all that with it and so forth. I mean, and doesn't that sound funny that you made your money throughout the year with hunts, fishing, rodeos, or great deer hunts. And
Pike lived, they had the deer hunts, and they'd have auction and all out there, and night or two, and I sold a sweepstake. I had a ticket, $25 ticket, and I cleared the first year. I cleared $1,900 in about 2 hours Friday night and 2 hours Saturday night. And the most I ever cleared was $2,600 in 4 hours.
And just in 4 hours, walking around with a bucket.
Oh, wow.
And what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break so we can get everybody coffee. We'll be back to enjoy another hour or so of Today in L.A.
No money down. No down payment. No payments till February 2022. No interest. That's right. It's November at Premier. Shop PremierTroy.com. And the most important nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Run it. Welcome to ESPN College Football.
This is going to be wild. Run it.
You'll have nothing but fun at the National Peanut Festival, November 5th through the 14th. See clowns, magicians, the tourist circus, along with amazing midway rides. For you animal lovers, we have racing pigs, the Sea Lion Splash Show, and livestock exhibits. Don't miss our concerts, including Randy Houser, Gabby Barrett, and Parma Lee. All brought to you by these great sponsors. Visit nationalpeanutfestival.com for details.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Hey.
Boy married a pretty girl. Yes, sir. Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen. Brought to you by Health Actions and my physical therapist, and appreciate them so much. Also, Troy Nissan, and of course on the bypass in Troy. Also, our good friends at All-State, our All-Star Collision right here on the bypass, and of course Jim Jackson Chevrolet, Jim Jackson Ford, all on the bypass right here in Troy, Alabama, with a great selection of new and used cars.
Remember the Troy basketball season starts tonight as well. The Troy women's team plays at 5:30. The men play at 7:30 tonight at Trojan Arena.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Are you going to be out there?
I don't make it to many basketball games. I like it, but we usually have, everything going on at night with the family.
Well, we have the concert at Claudia Crosby Theater.
Yeah, tell them about that. That's going to be fun.
The Troy Arts Council is putting on for free. So a group of 4 ladies that do covers of rock classics like the Mamas and the Papas and the Rolling Stones and on and on. supposed to be a really good group. They'll play some great songs, live music for free. And I think that's at 7 o'clock tonight at the Crosby Theater at Troy. So great event to take the family to.
And then coming up, the great concert, Sheila Jackson and her friends. That's going to be a super concert, and also held in the.
And the Vienna Boys Choir is coming in February.
Yes, sir. Right here in Troy.
Also, Steelers won Monday Night Football last night, 29-27. The Bears came all the way back, scored a touchdown late, but Roethlisberger led a late drive, and they kicked the field goal to win the game, 29-27.
Well, that was a great game. It must have gone into the
I watched
wee
some
hours.
of it.
Did it?
Yeah, I stayed up too late watching. I was up till 10:30 watching.
And if Pittsburgh, you said Pittsburgh won.
Yeah, they.
She said
The Bears came back and won.
No, the Bears came back, but the Pittsburgh won.
Yeah, all right. What I'm saying,
Pittsburgh beat Chicago.
The Steelers.
Pittsburgh's the surprise team of the NFL. They weren't expected to do this well.
They're 5-3.
5-3.
Najee Harris.
Pittsburgh was up 14 in the fourth quarter, but Bears came all the way back.
Oh,
Najee
boy,
had 62 yards on
I'm glad I
19
went to
carries.
sleep, huh? Well,
Pittsburgh.
But I always liked Pittsburgh. You know why I like them? They got the former Alabama great running back on their side.
Well, he only averaged 2.5 yards a carry. But in defense of Najee, I watched some of the game. He didn't have any room. I mean, there were people in the backfield when he got the ball.
And people don't understand that. Who's blocking up front? Let me tell you, as good as our running back from for the Tennessee Titans is, the former Heisman Trophy winner of Alabama. Hey, you watch. Now, if he's got a little seam, he might gain some yardage. But if it's stacked up, you can't run through bricks. And that's about like what you're doing, trying to run through bricks.
400 pounds, some of them.
That's right. Now, of course, you go to Raymond's to get a style shop, and of course, you can cut your women's hair too if they want to.
Oh yeah.
But you've seen all kinds of people come through, nice people in Pike County. And you always keep up with what's going on. Isn't that right?
And he's so good with children too. The kids love going.
Of course, and then at the same time, it's sad because a lot of these guys who you have befriended for so many years. When they leave us, you can name all of them. A guy named Leon Hillier,
Mr. Leon Hillier,
Tip Colley, Pete, Coach Frank Sadler. They go on and on.
Mr. Leon, he was my coach, teacher, and my banker.
That's right. I tell you what. I don't know if the good Lord had made a better man than Leon Hillier.
Oh, he was fine.
Not only just a great coach, but a great spokesman for
gentleman.
And gentleman, and I tell you, he was a great teacher. He taught math, and so did Pete Fair. He taught math, and but we look back a lot on this show to sort of reminisce about these great men that walked these streets a long time, well, not such a long time ago, but a few years ago.
Well, they live on in our memories.
Yeah. We talk about them about every day.
And Leon loved basketball. He was a great basketball coach.
Yes, sir.
He coached Cheryl Crow, Johnny Harrell.
Yes, sir.
They played Tuscaloosa.
Oh, yeah.
Up there for the championship game. Troy was 2A and they was about a 6A.
That's right.
Troy
was 3A.
Who briefly coached some Troy High School students was Chase Riddle when he was...
years ago, yeah. Troy High School.
Way back, yeah.
But, of course, Chase was a legend and a great man. Isn't that right? He's another great man.
He was fine as you
they all walk together, so almost, these super people walk the streets of this town, and you can go on and on about the people that have sort of laid out a way for us all to live our lives. The great people that
you know why they all ended up in Troy? It's because the railroad came through Troy. That's what made the town of Troy.
Years ago.
That's right.
And of course,
what was the train coming through Troy yesterday? I saw everybody posting pictures on Facebook. It was like a big deal. Some train was coming through.
It's coming through Troy. Yeah, Steve, give us some information on that if you can, Steve.
I saw somebody make a post about their brother or something was the engineer on one of the engines, and maybe it was a new kind of engine, or I can remember as a child my parents saying this is the last passenger train that's coming through Troy. And matter of fact, they wanted to let the kids get on the train and go 40 miles just so that we could say that we'd been on the passenger train. I don't think we went, but yeah, but I mean, once upon a time there was passenger trains that came through Troy every day.
Raymond, I'm sure you can tell us when hunting season starts, and I know right now you're talking about bow season. Tell us about that.
Bow season starts October the 15th. Or it might be earlier than that, but.
And that's where you can hunt with a bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Do you have many bow hunters out there much?
Oh, you do. You have a lot of folks that bow hunt.
You know, talking about hunting, I wonder if as many people do it. I don't think as many people hunt as they used to for some reason. But when I was in high school, I graduated in 1983. I remember just a big group of my classmates that would get up every morning and go hunting before school. And so that's what they were talking about at break, is, you know, how many deer or turkey they. I wonder if that still happens.
Now, turkey hunter does, doesn't it?
Oh, they get up at 4 o'clock. They in the woods.
And every morning, too.
Yeah, they hunt them.
I was working with a guy one time, and he lived in Goshen, and he actually took off, with pay. He had a bunch of leave, and he took that leave the entire days of turkey season, and didn't miss a beat.
I bet little Raymond went hunting before school someday. Your son, or did he sleep in?
Yeah, we'd go. We'd do a lot of stuff in the morning. My grandson, Reed, I carried him fishing just about every morning. Every morning I carried him Goshen to school.
Yeah.
We went fishing.
He smelled like fish. He walked into school smelling like fish. Is that right?
I was late one morning. And we got stuck one morning. I hitched him a ride. He said, "I'm not just riding with anybody." I said, "I'm going to get you a ride." By that time, Curtis Shaver came by. And I said, I flagged Curtis down. We was up on the hill out there. The gate back, Chris Campbell's gate didn't have his house built then. They was thinking about working on it then. But anyway, I got stuck back there. Came out and we was turkey hunting. Then that morning we came just riding through. And I told him, I said, now if that turkey stays on this side of the road, you can shoot him. But if he flies across that road while we walking out, you can't shoot across that road. I said, yes, sir. So the turkey, he messed us up that morning. He went straight across the highway. Of course, Reed didn't shoot. He was 6 years old, but he knew better than to shoot because I knew I'd wear him out. But anyway, Reed was a good hunter. He could. Yeah. We went fishing every morning too. But that morning, I got him a ride with Curtis Shaver. He pulls up at school, and Curtis's son is in his mama's car in front of him. He told Reed, said, "Reed, this don't look just right." Says, "I'm getting out of mama's car to go to school, and you getting out of my daddy's big truck to go to school." But we'd go fishing every morning, and one morning I said, "Reed, we got to leave at 7:15 to make it to Goshen by school time." 7:15, Reed said, "Big Daddy, let me catch another one." He's catching 2 and 3 pound bass out of Kenny Campbell's pond there.
Gosh.
And he said, "Let me catch one more." I said, he about every cast. Kenny came up behind us one morning. We was fishing, and Reed had the True Motion lure. His uncle Bubba, Red Austin, had bought him the True about $40 for them
Wow.
lures. But anyway, Reed threw 7 casts and caught 7 bass.
Goodness.
Kenny said, "This is the best fishing show that I've ever seen."
Yeah.
He said, "Y'all got it going."
Ladies and gentlemen, he talks about his grandson Reed. He's the best example I can think of some of you always hear this word God sent. God sent Reed. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
Went from tragedy to a wonderful young man that you've raised.
Yeah. But we got to school down at Goshen. Mr. Edwards was the principal. Walked in late. We was late. I said, "Mr. Edwards, it's all my fault. We late. I carried him fishing." So we go out to the truck. I tell Mr. Edwards, "We got 12 bass swimming in the well water out there in the cooler." So we go outside. He said, "Come on, Reed." Went outside. Reed jumped up on the tailgate. He pulled. I said, "Open that cooler." We had the 12 bass swimming around. Yeah. He said, "Y'all caught them this morning?" He said, "Big Daddy, you go on to work. Do whatever you got to do." Said, "I got Reed." Says, "He's already learned more than these other children learn all day just on this fishing trip."
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
We out of time.
It's amazing. Granddaddy gets up early and takes his boy to school, and in between they go fishing.
Well, 6 o'clock. We was fishing at 6 o'clock.
But
is it true that
he had to be smelling like
he didn't worry about that. We didn't either.
Like
We
fish.
did. If he got every now and then he'd get a little bit dirty, but I said, "Cherry, get us about that when she says us."
Hey, boy, you really educated.
Let me ask, does the fish bite better early in the morning?
Just when you can go fishing, you go fishing. Don't worry about them biting. That's what I say.
No, but nobody has gone fishing more than you have in my life.
I like to fish early in the morning, though.
Yeah, but another thing is see if I answer this is right. Fishing, I reckon you can go pretty much any time. But I think that hunting deer, you hear very much, or you don't hear of as many deer killed in the morning as it is in the afternoon. Is that true?
We did on the dog hunting. We killed.
Yeah, that's right, on the dog hunt, because you were waking them up, though. So you were waking those deer up.
They travel. A lot of folks go early and kill them. They'll kill them in the middle of the day.
I can tell you that deer are creatures of habit, and they do the same thing every day. Because I know they come over into Hillcrest in my neighborhood every day, and I see the trail they walk, and a couple of them will just lay down in my yard like pet dogs.
Do you see them laying down? Yeah.
Yes, the little baby doe. And they see me. I talk to them, and by now they just ignore me. They just say hello.
You ride down my neck of the woods, Elm Street, Crow Hill. You always look for something.
I called. Who was it? Coach Hambright was on the show, and I overslept, so I called in on the show, and I was sitting on my back porch, and you were interviewing Coach Hambright. I said, "I got to interrupt and let y'all know there were 8 deer in the Webb's yard, including 2 little baby."
Yeah, that's a beautiful place. But you ought to get your camera out and take some pictures.
We have. My wife does it sometimes.
Yeah, Mom always claims over the years on Crow Hill. I think I've seen one time, but we have white foxes, which is kind of unique on Crow Hill. Have you ever seen a white fox, Raymond?
Oh, I hadn't in this part of the country. I've seen them on TV.
Well, let me tell you this. Your mama might have seen them, but I've yet to see a white fox. I've seen a lot of them. You claim one day you were riding down the hill and you said you saw a panther. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. I saw a cougar on over going down Elm Street out there. Before you get to Walnut Creek, I was walking. Yeah. And started up the hill to where they're building all the new houses there.
That's right.
Cougar crossed the road about 50 yards in front of me. All I had was my walking stick. I said, I did have my stick cutting saw.
Yeah.
But, coyote crossed. I'd see them crossing. Yeah. But that cougar, he was a cougar color. He was a brown color.
Mm-hmm. Raymond, of course, is daily, is up early and stays late most of the time, but the experiences and the unusual friendships you've established over the years.
Yeah.
The same people, and you can expect them to be coming in at least within the last 3 or 4 weeks. Every cut, is that right?
Oh yeah.
Some people more.
Now with that COVID, they wait 3 months.
I know it. That's right.
Yeah.
Has the business got back to where it was normal now?
No, he's not even close to being normal. We folks, some of them. One fella came in and said, "It's been 1 year since I got my haircut."
Oh my God!
He used to get about.
Right. Pull that up a little bit, Mike. Up a little bit.
I tell you what, Raymond, you got to come cut
That's
hair
good.
down here because we don't have enough people to cut hair at the beach I live.
I told him.
I have to go online.
Somebody could just set up a barber shop and make a lot of money just on the weekend.
Yeah, folks are not moving on Saturdays either. We're not cutting as much hair on Saturday.
That's what I come.
But I messed my Saturdays up. I started closing at 12 o'clock, and I forgot. Folks stay around. They do the yard work and gardening and different things for Mama. And then at 12, she turn them loose. She say, "Get that haircut, today." So Saturday afternoon they came. We'd work till 6 o'clock, and me and Pal, we'd cut 50 apiece on Saturday.
On Saturday morning.
And now we cut about 10.
Gosh, woo.
It's way down.
Oh.
But
hey,
former All-American Alabama great football player Mike Pitts passed away yesterday at 61 years old. Pitts played 12 years in the NFL for the Falcons, Eagles, and Patriots. He also was on the great defensive line with Reggie White for the Philadelphia Eagles in the pros.
Did he play at Robert E. Lee at Montgomery? Where did Pitts play?
Played Alabama in 1982 All-American.
He played with Russ Wood, was his teammate.
Yeah.
He was on probably on Coach Bryant's last team. He was a real good player.
Yeah, exactly right. And
he was in college. He was an outside linebacker, and then he kept growing, and they made him a defensive lineman in the pros. Had a great career. It's sad to hear that.
Where did he come from? Washington?
I think he was not from Alabama. For some reason.
He was down around. Greenville down in that area.
Yeah. Of course, you cut Bill Rice Sr.'s hair a few times, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
And you always heard a good tale, didn't you?
Oh yeah. That Bill, he was fine.
And,
I like to see him run up the middle, boy. He carries some folks with him.
Exactly. How good Troy would have been if they played him at fullback as a junior. He didn't play fullback until his senior year. Is that right?
Yeah. For some reason they, you don't see many 6'5", 190-pound fullbacks, but Coach Queen moved him to fullback his senior year.
Want to mention our good friends?
Mike Pitts is from Pell City.
Well, I was wrong.
Pitts is from Pell City?
Yeah.
Okay, I would want to.
But he was with Jeremiah Castile, Russ Wood, and all those guys in Alabama.
This show is.
How big was Russ Wood growing up? Was he like a big tall guy, like 6'3", 220?
He was 6'3" at least.
I'd say in high school he probably might have topped out at about 200 pounds, which was pretty good size back then. And then when he got to Alabama,
I was cutting Russ's hair. He was.
Yeah.
Mike Wood.
Got him up to about
Coach
220 when he was in Alabama, but he looked like a football player. He was about 6'3".
Yeah, he weighed about 220, 225 maybe.
He started for 3 years at Alabama, which was.
How many times have you ever heard this? He is hit and knocked down by Russ Wood at the Alabama 14-yard line. That John Forney.
I'll tell you, my Russ Wood story is Coach Bryant's last game was the Liberty Bowl, which the team really needed to win to send Coach Bryant out as a winner. And it was a tight game against Illinois that passed all the time. And I think Jeremiah Castile had 3 interceptions in that game, but Illinois was never quit, and they had a chance to win the game late in the game until one Russ Wood got a big sack at the end of the game.
That's right,
sealed the victory.
And that is exactly right. Raymond Ledford is our guest this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, our local barber is located on South Brunny Street. Now, listen, get back in that barber chair. We need you. Raymond needs somebody to talk to.
But I tell them, you know, folks say, Raymond's retired. And I said, man, don't be putting that out on me. I'm not going to never retire. I told Mr. Jerry Benson, he's 86.
Yeah.
I said, Mr. Jerry, you be there at 7 o'clock. And then I said, no, I'll be there 10 after.
Yeah.
And you'll be my first customer. I says, when I'm 102, I'm going to cut 8 heads of hair.
You and Jerry share a garden, don't you?
Yeah.
Pretty good one, too, isn't it?
It was. Mr. Jerry quit, and it ain't doing quite as good.
He's one of the great Americans from
He had more time than I did, but he was out there hoeing 10:30 all summer long. But he says, I'm going to let you have the garden. It hadn't done quite as good.
You know who Jerry's best buddy was growing up?
Roy Crow.
We had several, I'm sure, but one of them was my late Uncle Bobby Rice.
Yeah.
And then also Judge Riley Green.
Riley Green, yes, sir.
They ran around together.
Yeah, wow.
I love to hear Jerry's. He can tell stories like Raymond. One story, last time I saw Jerry, he was telling me about these summer trips that some faculty member at Charles Henderson organized every year. They went on these great trips out west, to California or somewhere. Yeah. My mom went on a couple of them.
Jerry and I go way back, and of course, my older brother Bill, who is the same age as Jerry, they were all good friends growing up. You know, like you said, you know, back then, Raymond, like we get excited about a football game and everything, but right then, back then is you wanted to know what was under that hood of that car. They were drag racers. They were crazy about automobiles back then, and you go into a drive-in restaurant like the Studs and Burger and all you see was you thought it was a used car lot because everybody had the hood up, looking at their four-barrel carburetor.
Very few people had cars or trucks.
Yeah.
But Jerry was apparently one that did, and so he said he had about 5 people that he took to school every. My uncle was one of them.
Jerry Benz is a good name, and of course my good friend Wendley Wade Tatum. Tell us about him, Wiley.
We was talking about Wendley Wade yesterday. I saw him out, and he was cutting the bushes out in the precautions he's got.
He was doing it quick too, wasn't
he? Oh yeah, he could. Well, he'd been working at it probably half a day.
You know,
he had it cut up clear.
What is unique about the precautions? I've always heard about that. We went there when we were in school growing up. Isn't it like a unique area for us?
Oh, there were three precautions in the world. One in France, one in Germany, and the one out here in Pike County.
What is unique about it? Like the
vegetation, different things.
The vegetation never dies there. It stays green.
But you got all different kind of herbs and plants out there.
Yeah.
It's supposed to some things grow year round that don't grow.
And like you said, I think he said he was only 3 places like it in the world or something like that.
That's really.
Or in this part of the country.
Isn't it like a certain temperature in there as well? I remember walking in there when I was a kid.
I don't know.
Somebody needs to do a big story on it. I mean, it's a novelty that we have here in Pike County.
I don't forgot who it was, but somebody tried to get it made into a national park.
Yeah, that's right.
And they could never get it
going. But
going.
of course, my uncle Shorty Renfro owned it at one time. Quentin Renfro owned it.
He owned the precautions?
He owned it. Yeah, he owned it. And he sold it. I told Jerry you shouldn't have ever sold that because that was unique, that place.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Quentin let us go. We could go frog gigging in every night. Mr. McGee would carry us out there about 3 nights a week. We'd get 20 frogs or more every time.
Now, you know, all right, ladies and gentlemen, here everybody else is out having a big time, going to the parties and so forth on a Saturday night. Well, he's in a boat gigging frogs. And tell us about gigging frogs and how good is a frog leg?
That frog leg.
Fresh frog leg.
Fresh frog leg's about good eating as you want. Somebody told me rattlesnake was better than frog leg. I said, if it is, he better hide.
Well, now
Rattlesnake
everybody
better
wants
hide.
to know about your. Have you ever fried a rattlesnake?
I did at Skinner. Johnny Scoggins killed one. I skinned him out and fried him for dinner.
Did you tell everybody what they were eating?
Oh, no. Well, everybody knew it. And Mr. Clinton Green, he was over there and says, ain't no Green eating that. Looked around, Luke, his son, had a piece of rattlesnake in his mouth. He said, boy, to get you.
I mean, really, tell us how
it was good. It wasn't
like
as good
the breast
as frog.
of a chicken, or what is it?
It's white meat, but it wasn't good as a frog leg.
Yeah, I know it. It would bother me to know I was eating a rattlesnake. You know?
It didn't bother me at all.
I like frog legs.
Yeah, frog legs now. If it's on a buffet, it doesn't stay on there long. You know.
They eat 'em.
Yeah.
But them frogs that they get shipped in here, they're not good as a wild frog from Alabama.
Ladies and gentlemen, Raymond knows most all of what he learned is in the woods.
Bottom line is you can eat about anything, can't you? Any critter.
Yeah. But he learned all this stuff. He would kill something and he'd take it to his cook at the Alabama Baptist Children's Home where he lived, and they'd fry it up for you.
For breakfast.
Tell us some things that you would bring in to let your
Well,
cook.
Lily told us is you bring anything in here except a snake. You bring a snake in there. She had a butcher knife about that long. She said, I'll get you with that food. We said, we're not bringing a snake. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But we ate everything from possums.
This for breakfast usually or dinner?
Breakfast. We ate them for breakfast.
Yeah.
Now you got
Squirrels,
rabbits,
ducks.
Duck, coots. We ate a pigeon.
Coot,
Somebody shot a pigeon.
Oh, yeah. Coot looks just like a duck, though, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, he'd have died out.
Duck's something you gotta hunt early in the morning, right? Before
or in the late afternoon.
We saw him swimming on Crow's Pond. He was fair game. We'd shoot him and swim out there and get him.
Oh, go ahead.
There was a lot of ducks on Crow Lake back in the day.
Oh, yeah. We came by. We'd kill one just about every Saturday.
Yeah.
We'd come by there. Mr. Mooneyham was living out there.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He never did say nothing to us. We didn't go by his house. But
my dad used to go duck hunting. A lot of people used to go duck hunting.
That's right.
A lot of people go to Arkansas to duck hunt, and then the Arkansas folks that they duck hunt with come to Alabama to go deer hunt.
All right, well, let me tell you, you tell us that now, are y'all experiment when you say you kill, you're going to cook a coon? I mean, are you?
No,
is that something that you've
it
had
was just
before?
something you're going to eat, yeah.
Compare a coon with a possum. Which would you rather eat?
I'd rather eat the coon, but
even today, you would eat a coon.
Oh yeah, you get your
when somebody's eating fried chicken right next to you, you could be eating a coon. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd eat. Somebody else would be eating a squirrel leg, and I'd be eating a coon leg.
Was it good?
It was good.
Really? And a lot of people ate it?
Surely all this was fried.
Fried. It
Deep
was country
fried,
fried.
Yeah.
Golden brown. It looked like a piece of chicken.
If it was like grilled or baked or anything like that, I don't see how you could do it.
You could bake your coon. We'd boil the coon, get him tender, and then put him in a.
Hear this, Mike.
You lay him out flat in a pan, put sweet potatoes around him.
That's what I wanted, baked sweet potatoes. That's what it comes with.
Yeah, and the possum. Oh, shoot, that was a lot of folks' meals, beef possum and sweet potatoes.
Possum and sweet potatoes. and you would get excited about it growing up.
We'd eat it. We'd eat everything. Just
I know stories when you'd go over there that they would be cooking steak on like Tuesdays and
I've told that story. I've told the story mostly to tell you that said, don't feel sorry for that kid from the Baptist Children's Home. He's going to eat better than you are every night, I promise you. And,
Mike, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Mike, I told Coach Amos, I says, Mike, you talking about ribeyes, sirloins, T-bones? we didn't ever see them.
Yeah, you didn't know what they were born.
We ate the round steak. Now that round steak is fine as you want to eat.
Fried in a frying pan.
Yeah. Our cook that gravy.
Yeah.
You talking about homemade
Did y'all
biscuits.
have gardens too? I mean, homegrown gardens?
Yeah.
All right,
Vegetables?
let's just say, I'm going to tell that story real quick. I coached at Charles Henderson a couple of years, and we were, every Thursday night, the home kids, that's what we call them,
Yeah.
the home kids grill steaks. Well, they didn't grill steaks, they fried steaks. And they invited us over to eat with them one Thursday night, and they bring out a big old T-bone, about like that, big old T-bone, and it was all fried up. It was fried, but delicious and tender, and they knew how to cook it. And so we were getting through, and I said, "Boy, that was a good steak." Hearing old Bryant tell them, what's his name? First name?
Who was that?
The Bryant kid.
Jerry?
Jerry Bryant. He said, Coach, hey, you want another one? And in a second, Jim Tompkins loved to eat about as much as anybody. And hey, he brought us another big old T-bone and set it right in front of us. So we ate 2 big T-bones for supper. And he said, well, do y'all want any more? But what it was, just every Thursday night they treated those football players with a steak.
Oh yeah, that was wasn't that Ralph Nash?
Yeah, no, well, not Ralph. It was Dr. Shirey and some of those guys.
I know where they ate on
Yeah.
Wednesday night. Y'all probably ate it at the First Baptist Church.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, no, it was too much to handle for y'all to eat at the church on Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yeah, we had prayer meeting at the home.
Yeah, I know it had their own prayer meeting and everything.
Yeah, that would have been too much.
We went to church. You'd have 200 on the right hand side of the Baptist church when you walked in. That was our spot over there.
That's right. And and I went to First Baptist Church, and we didn't get anywhere near those boys. They want to fight. Hey,
we didn't fight.
I always want to fight.
We live right next door to Hobson Showery too, because I used to hang out in their yard playing my Hot Wheels cars.
I'm gonna write that guy's name down as wonderful as anybody that has ever walked these streets. Hobson Showery.
He's fine. number 1.
And I tell you,
when I was a little kid, he looked so old when I was a little kid. I wonder if he was not as old as I thought he was.
He sided with the folks. Mr. Cox, when he was there, they was tough youngins there. A lot tougher than when we was there.
Yeah, exactly right. But Coach, let me just tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's so many stories built around this guy right here, growing up at the Baptist Children's Home. I mean, he remembers legends like Bobby Marlowe and Wallace Hogan and
Columbus Patman.
Those were 3 great ones right there. Yeah. Richard Martin was a great one, and they were just everywhere.
Let me ask you, Raymond, you're kind of one of our historical sources on the Baptist Children's Home. What year would you have said you had the most kids living at the Children's Home?
Oh, we had 200 a year. When I was out there, the last few years, the government, they shut us down, actually. They said you couldn't get a child 50 miles from his environment. We could get right now you could get somebody from Greenville, but you couldn't got Pale from Ozark.
Yeah.
You couldn't have got me from Morris, Alabama,
right.
170 miles.
Yeah.
And, it was bad. But I told somebody, I said, you don't worry about it. If we have a depression, somebody will donate 450 acres.
Yeah.
We'll build us a barn, 2 chicken houses, a hog pen, have the dairy cows and the milk cow.
Provide for yourself.
Yeah.
Build about 8 houses, and they can start the home over.
Yeah.
The government won't have they won't have enough money to interfere with it.
Let me tell you the difference.
They got something similar to that. Brody Kroll, the former Alabama quarterback, and his dad, John Kroll, started the Big Oak Boys Ranch, and that's kind of like a similar.
Yeah, they call them Boys Ranches. Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, there's just so many memories of what life was like at the Baptist
One
Children's
of the
Home.
big historic moments in Troy history, I've given you the first one, when the railroad came to Troy. Another big one was when the Alabama Baptist Children's Home moved from Evergreen to Troy, Alabama, like in the early 20s. I think the population of Troy went up by about 200 in one day when that's what brought Dr. Tip Colley's daddy, who was the leader of the children's home, to Troy.
And that famous Colley family, you know, all of them came to get their hair cut from you, didn't they? Did Judson come in there, a sharp, good-looking guy?
Judson Colley, he came. They came. Some of them came every week then. Yeah. They come every 2 weeks, and but
I would say Judson might have come every week. You know, he was well groomed. And
I don't know why they moved from Evergreen to Troy. I guess people in Troy lobbied for it or said, well, listen, we want to do it in Troy.
I never have heard why they came, but they came in 1929.
Is that it?
So did they build the houses first? Like all the houses?
I don't really know. I never have.
Yeah, I would think that they built the cottages for the home. I mean, I would think that we're not regular people's home. Let's say that. You know,
I like history, but when you're young, you're too busy running around. Playing and
hunting and fishing. Fun on top of the hill there.
Mike, I'm gonna tell you something. This guy knows more about Crow Hill than anybody. You know, he hunted Crow Hill and many a day.
Mike, about where y'all's house was, Mr. Shire's house. I ran up a covey of quail one day, and I had a 410 shotgun. I was about 12 years old, and I walked that covey of quail up, and about 50 birds. Now you think I'm telling you a story, but this is the truth. 50 birds got up, and there was 2 coveys, and one covey was small. There was a grown covey in there, about 25 birds, and then about 25 small quail got up, and they was all standing around there, and I threw up and I shot one of the small birds, and he was slower than the rest of them. I missed him probably. I wasn't that good a shot. I could hit pretty good, but a 410 now, shooting a 410, I was
exactly.
But somebody said he got that slow bird that said small, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
We killed all our doves off the power lines on Crow Hill growing up.
That's old spoiled guy. He'd rather.
Well, these were quail. That's another thing you don't see. There used to be quail hunts everywhere, not anymore.
Well, I'll tell you this. A friend of mine's frying quail this Sunday.
Yeah.
And you probably know who I'm talking about. And of course, Raymond's story that when Christmas comes around, I want to get him back on our show to talk about the warmth and happiness of a young man or a young girl growing up at the Baptist Children's Home. You know, you'd start talking about you, and of course, everybody would say, "Oh, don't feel sorry for him."
That's right.
Because he's going to end up giving away most of his stuff because he's getting new stuff.
I always tell folks, I say, don't feel sorry for me. When I came to Troy in 1951, on June the 5th, ever since I've led a charmed life.
Tell us about your life in a quick way. From growing up and playing with the guys.
How old were you when you moved to Troy?
We had started off in the Scott cottage, and there was 22 boys in there.
How old were you?
I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And we had a boy in there named Adrian Beard, and Adrian was an athlete. He'd do a somersault. He'd do a flip just anyway, backwards or forward. And he was 12 years old, and I was 8. But anyway, at night, we had a mimosa tree right at the corner of the porch, and we went out on the balcony there and climbed down that tree, all of us. And we had raced to the Elm Street, across that lawn there. It was long in the football field. But anyway, we'd slipped, climbed down that tree, we had our shorts on, and we'd run wide open. All 22 of us run wide open. Adrian ran backwards, and he outran every one of us backwards.
This was Viola Beard's brother.
Yeah, her brother and Dickie and Blanche.
How pretty were those girls?
Oh, God. I told him, when I was about 9 years old, I told him, I said, Jane Russell, Debbie Reynolds, they ain't got nothing on.
I'm telling you,
they were beautiful.
And the most beautiful girls. And I would see them come to church, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Sing in the church. And my brother brought Viola Beard home with him one day, my older brother, for lunch. And
she was about,
yeah. But then you had the maid of cotton there, Mildred Nelson, that was like a movie star. She looked like Jane Russell, didn't she?
She was so pretty. Pearl, her sister, was just as pretty as.
And then back with me in school, Pat Aldridge.
Yeah, Miss Pat, she was pretty.
And,
she sang real good. Right now, Miss Jane Treadwell got a 78, I think it's a 78 record. 33 or 78. Yeah. Anyway, she got the record of the choir singing at the home. And they got all them girls singing. And Miss Lear Crouch, she was the choir director out there. And this record, Ricky Thompson got it for me, and but they brought it down, and Miss Jane Treadwell said somebody could record it.
But and of course, you were a little guy then, and you were looking out over all these guys and these great athletes, unbelievable athletes, like a Bobby Marlowe and like a Wallace Hogan. Those two right there were Superman type athletes.
Well, it seems like y'all had a lot of chores.
And excuse me, throw Pittman in there.
But you also had a lot of time to go hunt and roam around.
Pat Flanagan?
Columbus, no, not Columbus, but Pat was an exceptional athlete, but Pittman.
Columbus Patman?
Patman, yeah, Patman. Sorry. And see, he was an extraordinary athlete. So that's 4 or 5 real big time athletes.
Oh God, yeah.
Bobby Marlowe's.
He could have got a scholarship in football, and Wallace went to Alabama, but he got married when he was a freshman. You can't marry at Alabama when you're.
And of course, with Bill Rice being a junior and Wallace Hogan being a senior, buddy, they had Sonny Queen had a real good team.
Dad, I've heard Dad talk about what a good player Columbus Patman was, but of course his claim to fame is he's the man who caught the duck.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, you were there too, wasn't you?
Yeah, they are.
And he still argues with me. He said he caught a duck. He didn't catch no duck. He caught a big old goose.
Bill said it was a duck.
No, listen, he caught a big old goose.
It wasn't a goose. Mallard duck.
How could he do that with a mallard duck? Now, we're talking about a mallard duck.
The
a lot
duck,
smaller.
Night he's flying around that stadium and he comes in, Troy High School's in the huddle. And that duck came in, he was lighting on that, what he thought was a pond.
Yeah.
It was raining. And he came dropping in, and Columbus jumped up and grabbed him by the leg. And he carried him to the sidelines. I told him, I said, we're going to eat that duck for breakfast the next morning. When he got home, we'd have dressed him.
The Highway Patrol came over that or the game warden.
Game warden came and got him. But I told him, I said, that duck had his neck wrong when he picked him up.
And then, of course,
he didn't turn him loose.
My version of it was, this bird kept moving around several times, and finally, Patman ran out of the huddle. It was just so obvious. He ran out of the huddle, reached up and grabbed I say goose or whatever you say, out of the air, whatever.
Greenhead.
He took a bird out of the air and took it over to the Troy sideline and told him to keep him. He wanted to keep that.
He knew.
That's one of the great stories in Troy history. Yeah. There's another thing that we're talking about hunting.
It happened in
Raymond was probably here. You can confirm this. they've always had a pigeon problem downtown. And so one day the city father said, well, we're going to fix that. We're going to get the best hunters in town, and we're going to close off downtown on Sunday, and we're going to have a pigeon shoot, which is what they did. They were around First Methodist Church, because my grandfather, Hickey, was one of the...
Oh, yeah.
But that was the great pigeon shoot of...
Russell Gibson, all them folks.
Yeah, those were all great people. And
But the pigeons carry disease.
Yeah, what's
and
that
the
called?
humans can get it. That's why they shot them. They are Cinco drugs, that building right there. There was thousands of them in there.
Boy, I tell you, exactly right. Of course, this show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, Jason Gregory, a great man that does so many things for our community. And, of course, drop by and see him at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram truck and get a tremendous savings on your next time you buy an automobile. Remember, nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
No money down. No down payment. No payments till February 2022. No interest. That's right. It's November at Premier. Shop PremierTroy.com. And the most important nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly specials.
Welcome to ESPN College Football.
This is going to be wild. Run it.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
You'll have nothing but fun at the National Peanut Festival, November 5th through the 14th. See clowns, magicians, the tourist circus, along with amazing midway rides. For you animal lovers, we have racing pigs, the Sea Lion Splash Show, and livestock exhibits. Don't miss our concerts, including Randy Houser, Gabby Barrett, and Parmalee. All brought to you by these great sponsors. Visit nationalpeanutfestival.com for details.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Oh, yeah. Back to our show, brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass. We appreciate them so much. And also Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need. And Bird Drugs on the corner in downtown Troy for a great breakfast this morning. Go buy drugs, and it's delicious.
You know, Nelson's by the Lake must have been there. That what became the restaurant must have been some kind of...
That house has been there since it was there in 1951.
Mr. Crow came to Troy.
I wish somebody knocked it to the ground.
Well, let me just say this. It's a good piece of property.
Yeah.
But that place has been there. Mr. Crow built that place back in the early 40s.
Yeah, and I knew it was there when 1951 it was there.
What, Mike?
Alabama basketball tonight as well. Alabama has sold a record-setting 6,700 season tickets to basketball this year. They're ranked number 15. They'll be on the SEC network tonight at 8 p.m. if you're going to watch Alabama against Louisiana Tech.
I'm going to go see Troy play tonight. Troy plays a team out of Atlanta. And I'm going to go watch and see what they look like.
I'm just saying this game will be on late tonight. This game won't be over till 10 o'clock if you want to watch it when you get home.
Auburn also starts tonight. And I watched the clip of Auburn practicing, and, man, those guys look athletic and good. The Auburn basketball players.
Is Auburn, how good is
it? Great coach. Bruce Pearl's a great coach.
Now, who is Alabama's coach, Mike, and how do you rate him?
Nate Oates. Done a great job since he's come in from Buffalo, and freshman guard in the country, J.D. Davidson, the kid out of Calhoun.
Out of Calhoun.
Yeah, five-star prospect. He'll play 1 year at Alabama. They say he'll be a lottery pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, so we'll have him, and then the pros get him next year.
Mike, Cheryl Crow, he scored 40 points one game. That the year.
I tell you who couldn't score 40 points. Maybe could score 4 points.
Yeah, he's
Blake Crow.
His record is 40 points in one game.
Yeah, I knew that, and I had another figure, 31 points as well. 33. Well,
Steve
McMillan, it's in here. It's in here at 31 points. 31 points.
You might be right, but I think I'm right at 40.
Steve McMillan. Do you ever cut Steve McMillan?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Steve McMillan. Steve McMillan scored 49 points in a game. In fact, they were playing Brundage. Playing Brundage. And Bill Barr can tell you all about it because he was in the guard.
Steve McMillan became the CEO of the Sara Lee Company.
That's right.
In Chicago, which has about, you think about Sara Lee breakfast toast.
Yeah.
But that Sara Lee owned a lot more brands than just that. That was a huge company, and the CEO was right here from Troy.
You know, it's amazing that there are two former Troy people that actually have just own the bread biscuit type restaurants. You had Sister Schubert with Sister Schubert Rose, and then of course Steve McMillan with Sara Lee.
Yeah,
two pretty good size.
When Steve went to work for him, it was Electrolux.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
They didn't ever hear Steve say it, but they said the first year he worked for him, he made $1 million. The first year.
Yeah. Have you ever cut his hair?
Oh, Steve, I cut it all the time.
Yeah.
And his daddy was a friend, coffee buddy of my dad, and he was a D-Day war hero. He was involved in the taking. I think he drove the landing craft onto the beaches of Omaha.
Yeah, I've heard that story. He's a great man.
That was Steve's daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quoted him this week. Somebody's talking about, asked me, said, "Do you ever bet on these ball games?" I said, "No, I don't bet. I don't like to lose." But Mr. McMillan, he told, they were all talking, and says, "I bet you a Coca-Cola, on this game." He said, "I don't bet. I don't like to lose. I'll just buy you a Coke."
Well, I will say this, that Mr. McMillan was also a super Sunday school teacher.
Oh, he was fine.
Really good. And then another super Sunday school teacher was the father of Sister Schubert, James Wood.
Yeah.
Was an excellent.
I got a story about Mr. McMillan. Dad wrote a column about him in the Troy Citizen. He was piloted landing crafts on D-Day. I think he was in like the second wave that took troops on shore. But one of his closest buddies in the war was this actor that you've seen. He's a character actor that you've seen him in dozens of things. The one movie, he had a big part in the movie The Sting. I can't recall his name. He wasn't a star, but he was one of these players that always had a minor or moderate role in movies. And that was a war buddy of Mr. McMillan.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? With Veterans Day coming up on Thursday, most all of the businesses in Troy will be probably shut down for the day. It's a holiday, but it's a holiday will mean. I don't know if you could go through a holiday that has so much emphasis on our country. Without that, we'd be. Hey, listen. Without those brave men and women, we'd be speaking German today. Wouldn't you say? If we hadn't had our army and our friends overseas, we would probably be speaking German today.
Yeah, we have both our girls out at school on Thursday. I guess all the schools are closed in Troy on Thursday.
Yeah. All the banks are closed and everything.
That's my father-in-law, Frank Fryer's birthday, 1/11/11/11/11. That comes from the Armistice Day. That's when they had the armistice in World War I, which was the war to end all wars. That didn't turn out to be the case.
Yeah, of course, I'll always remember the men that I've been told have served our country as well as anybody could, and we need to really show our appreciation.
Yeah. But the American soldier, he loves his freedom so much, but you just figure if we lose, your family suffers. I said, in Russia they can come over and if they want to take the smallest child, a 2-year-old, take the mama, the daddy, whichever one they want, so we can carry you with us. You can't say nothing about it. United States of America, we don't have to put up with that. We got our freedom. We got the best freedom in the world.
But they're taking it away from us every day.
They talk about guns, they talk about they're going to take our guns. They can't take our guns.
But we hunt with our guns.
Yeah. My story is, take my guns, take all my bullets. You come up to my house, you stick your head around the corner my utility house, I'm going to hit you in the face with a flat point shovel.
Why did the founders include the Second Amendment as the Second Amendment?
Yeah.
They were protecting freedoms from who? Who were they protecting? They were protecting it from our own government. The fail-safe is if our government gets so bad that they're coming after us, the people can fight back against their government.
Oh, yeah.
But it ain't fighting back against Iraq or Afghanistan's government. It's the people that are going to steal your freedoms in the name of protection, or you got to watch out for is your own government.
Well, of course, everybody has opinions of the way our country is going. I just say this, that our freedom is because of those brave men and women that have given their lives. I mean, just think of all the lives that have been lost.
Football games tonight as well. If you want to watch some of the MAC football games tonight, you can't ask for better games than this. You got Buffalo at Miami, Ohio. Miami, Ohio is an 8-point favorite. That game will be on ESPNU tonight. Then on CBS Sports South, you got Western Michigan playing Akron. Western Michigan is a 25-point favorite. You've got Iowa.
How many?
Ohio playing Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is a 5.5-point favorite. So those games are all on TV tonight if you want to watch football as well.
Golly, that's a bunch of them. They're going to have 4 or 5 games, is that right?
Yeah, the MAC plays a lot on Tuesdays and Wednesday nights.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Okay, man, that's something.
Why in the world would Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky want to go to the MAC? I don't understand that. I would just stay in Conference USA.
Well, Conference USA, how many people do you got to have a conference? They're betting that the Conference USA might not make it, would be my bet.
It's the best thing ever to happen to Jacksonville State. They're getting to go to 1A and the easy route. They're the same classification we're at now. And
how in the world, in a small state like Alabama, do you have 6 Division I football teams now?
That's right.
South Alabama, Troy, UAB, Jacksonville State, Auburn, and Alabama.
Exactly.
Compare it to Georgia.
Did you go to the game Saturday?
That has,
I didn't make it out.
I think they have 4 now, and Georgia has twice the population as Alabama.
That's right.
Stay pretty cold all the time, and that wind.
That's right. You're right. Of course, this weekend, Mike, Troy goes up against the top team in the there are 3 real good teams in the conference, and one of them we got Saturday.
Yeah, you got a chance to beat a ranked team. If we beat Lafayette, I would imagine we'll storm the field.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it's going to be a big game. We hope you enjoyed our show today with Raymond on, and hope you'll come on soon, my friend.
I'll do it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, Raymond from Raymond Style Shop on the South Brundy Street, right in Troy. Drop by and see him and get your hair cut.
Yeah.
I didn't